They still need to beat Talon again, but it would be painful if you lost that way. It would be so painful.
Yeah, for sure. And
Oh,
immediately
boy.
off the ban phase, we see Urshifu and the trio.
Glaceon?
That means Glaceon is right open, and MXI got a decision to make. Right? Is he gonna go back to that Slowbro first pick or the Glaceon first pick?
It's the Glaceon. It's the Glaceon. Moon Boy, you of all people, I'm surprised your question, like even asking that question, you were the one preaching to me about how disgusting this Glaceon is, okay?
Yeah, but Glaceon is really good though. However, right, throughout this whole tournament, we have not seen a single Glaceon victory. So
True.
is this a sign, right? Is Glaceon actually the jinx of this whole composition?
Dude, you know what would be so messed up? If Talon finally get Glaceon, right? And then they lose, and then that leads them to... That would be literally the worst. MXI gonna be back on that Snorlax, so feeling pretty decent about how he performed earlier on. Wants a repeat, wants a do-over of that. But on the flip side, Maita now, none of them are touching this Eldegoss, interestingly. They opt for the Hoopa instead. So prioritizing that reset potential as well as the maneuverability around the map that the Rings Unbound offers.
Yeah, you know, right? Especially with stacked together with the Sylveon, and you know that your opponent is really low in mobility. There's one Blastoise and a Snorlax. There's nothing much that could boost their speed and whatnot. And no Dodrio in the action as well. So Hoopa is literally the speed when it comes to mobility in this game as well. Stacked together with this Talonflame, God of Warriors has control of the movement of the whole map by itself as well. So overall, I like the composition coming in from God of Warrior, but Talon, this is just a solid pickup. Like I believe this is kind of like a death ball kind of like composition from Talon.
Okay, I mean, speaking of the death ball on one side, you have the macho man himself, Machamp, being picked up by Kai. Kai, so far, we've only seen him on this dojo, and one of the Pokemon just escapes my memory at this point in time. But mostly, he's been the one piloting that dojo, and now he's been switched off. He's on this Pokemon that we haven't actually seen today at all.
Actually, we did see in a few Machamps. Yeah, I think
am I just high? Am I just high?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, but
okay, not from God of Warrior. Smile.
Yeah, for sure, not from God of Warrior. Yes, you're correct. Yeah, but Machamp, really strong Pokemon, but only scaling in the late game. You have to get Machamp to level 9 as soon as possible. If not, if this Pokemon is being controlled by Talon, it is gonna be it's gonna be useless for the first half of the game if Talon could control this Machamp.
Yeah, maybe they're hoping that like with the slow bro out of the picture and in their own hands, the Machamp with the barrage blow and the immunity to hindrances can just punch through, basically just knock that Glaceon out in one fell swoop, right? We've seen the amount of physical burst damage that Machamps can do, especially once they're scaled up, and he has the tools to help him, right? He has that frontliner the pseudo frontliner in the meanwhile while he ramps up, and he has the Sylveon, the A9, who are gonna keep him just insured, right? Give him a lot of space to work with on Theosky runes, ideally, for him to just get that EXP and run away from there. We'll see how it works out though. God of Warriors one game away from a grand finals reset. Ladies and gentlemen, the two best teams of APAC-EAST for this month are fighting for the lion's share of the prize pool. Now, they both already qualified, but this is about just getting the better of your opponents, and this, I mean, games like these, absolutely invaluable.
Yeah, for sure. This finals is not just about the money, right? This finals is all about who I want to be a champion. I want to be a winner for the region, and these two teams are just so close to that crowning themselves champions for this matchup as well. So both players, God of War really want this reset because they need this win for themselves. And Talon though, they didn't really perform in the April qualifiers, and this is the best opening for them to show us what they got.
Yeah, absolutely. It would definitely be a bit of a shameful situation if you didn't walk away, especially with such hopes against you. But honestly, I can't blame them. God of Warriors, they're proving themselves to be very formidable opponents here. It's, as I said, I really didn't feel like they got to show what they could do in that earlier series. And now we're seeing the real God of Warriors. We're seeing them bring all their strategies to the table and play limitless. Now, what can they find from this blank? Falling low and the submission. Kai gonna punch his head straight into the ground here to start things off. God of Warriors looking good.
Yep, I love the selection of submission from Kai, right? Like, instead of going for the dynamic punch, it went with the submission. So I believe this is definitely going to be targeted straight at the Glaceon, so that you could catch the Glaceon upon her firing of the Icicle Sphere, and you could cancel the Icicle Sphere there and then as well. So, and at the same time, the rest of the team could just zone that Glaceon down and take her out, because Glaceon is just too broken in this format as well. And, with this composition, once the Glaceon is caught, there goes all their firepower from Talon's side.
Absolutely. Very interesting move here. Submission coming in, trying to grab the Glaceon, like we said. Backing up, though, because of the Snorlax, means that they can't progress any further. Just an absolute ragtag brawl in the central area, trying to secure as much of these Altaria as possible. And the reset, convenient one. Oh, the heavy slam just slightly off the mark. And they're able to just get their HP bars maxed out back to full.
MXI was just so close from denying them from the hyperspace portal, but just not really well timed. Snake here might be a little bit of trouble as well, as the Glaceon falls down. Like, this is what we're talking about, right? If the Glaceon have no escape plan, it's as good as GG for him.
Yeah, that's true. You could say the same around the Sylveon there, cornered into a bit of a rough spot. And Talon and God of Warriors, this game in particular, it's all about precision. You need to just kind of get the best target. You need to be on top of your target priority, right? Your target selection. Speaking of target selection, they've seen 77 Chin and they don't want to see him anymore, just disappears. Cross chop in, submission is there, but Kai, I don't know whether this is a fight you want to take. Blank, forced to back off, and Talon, they're okay with a couple of dunks. They will just relent for now. It doesn't seem like it's still poking away onto God of Warriors, and just some bashing hits back and forth as Talon able to just kind of edge out this advantage with sheer numbers alone.
Yeah, Talon really want to take this fight to God of Warrior right there. So MXI distracting Kai away from the fight, while the rest of Talon just zoning straight right down to the Reggie Ilecki as well. Talon got the Ilecki for himself, and it will be marching straight right down to the tier 1 goal zone.
Yep, and I mean, right now, Talon, they're actually committing a lot of members still to this top side. It's going to end up fruitful for them as they break open this tier 1, like you said. But already God of Warriors starting on this Registeel, and I don't know if Talon can get here in time.
There might be a possibility of them getting there in time as well, but the rest, with the rotation from Hoopa, with the help of Hoopa as well, and the Kai at the tier 1 goal zone just taking them out, but the Reggie immediately going straight right to God of Warrior as well. So this buff is what God of Warrior actually needs to actually keep on par with Talon.
I mean, we talked about how Glaceon is quite broken right now, but as of now, I don't think Brona has really been able to find a time to make it shine just yet, right? It's really just about more so the team play than anything, which is why earlier on when we saw the Glaceon as well, it wasn't like an auto win. There still was a lot of counterplay available. This game, God of Warriors, they do have some tools. They have the Machamp available, as well as the Slow Beam that can come up from Cynthia. Now, Snake in some trouble, forced the Fairy Frolic, nice bit of healing, but the fireworks right where he lands. Now, Cynthia in some trouble as well. They're trying to force the issue, but the punches, Kai lifts the entire team and says, I got this, buddy. Smacks them back down, and the Blastoise is put out of commission. What a play from this Machamp.
Great barrage blow out of nowhere as well, just taking them out of that fight, right? So there's no KO right there as well, but that literally disengaged Talon from that fight as well, and that's what God of Warriors need. They don't exactly need the KOs, they just need to disengage this fight.
They're splitting the issue up here. Talon, they're 5 members strong here in this bot path. Maitan now opening the gates, rings are bound straight into a Hydro Typhoon, catches a few, but the Snow Globe, 77 Chain, actually dodging out of his own Unite move, and now in some trouble because of this Blastoise and the damage that he can do. The ice coming through and not going to be able to finish off this Machamp for now, so they do lose some Pokemon in this bot side. But God of Warriors, they don't relent in terms of their positioning. They're still here, they're still holding the tier 1 goal zone. I can't imagine they're too upset about that.
Yeah, I mean, those fight down in the bottom side, God of War really don't want to lose their tier 1 to Talon at this point in time. Talon is a little bit ahead of points, but they just want to keep it up a little bit more. And down in the bottom side, so Talon is just keeping God of War away from that Reggie Ilecki, as I believe Talon, got the easy Reggie Ilecki for himself.
Yeah. And easy Reggie Ilecki indeed, just scooping that up and just walk up there, make quick work. The amount of damage that Glaceon does honestly caught me a bit by surprise there. I'm just like, oh, yeah, Reggie Ilecki easy. Oh, it's gone. It's gone. Just like that. That's going to leave the Alolan Ninetales in a bit of a pickle because someone has to deal with it. Now, Cynthia, a bit far ahead of the team right now, and the Icicle, oh my gosh, so much damage! And the Delphox, the punches come through. Kai trying to be the hero for his team again, but he can't do it all by himself. And the Glaceon was talking about how Brone hasn't made it sparkle just yet, but that is the one, that is the fight.
That was what I'm talking about, Turnasnes. The numbers don't add up for Glaceon. Like, all she have to do is just be there and just Icicle Sphere every single one of them. Stacked together with the Icicle Charge, she basically have 10 ice spheres, ice cubes, just throwing at them every single round, and that's not fair.
That sounds like it's painful. I'm just in my mind, I'm just imagining you taking a tray of ice and just chucking it in my head. I'm like, ow, you know, that's not very nice. And I don't think God of Warriors feeling too good. Probably a bit of a concussive sort of situation for them too. I don't think they were really expecting that, and they need to be a bit more careful. The slow bro, it's such a crucial set piece for God of Warriors in terms of winning these fights, but you need to be careful. You can't get caught out in these forward positions. You can get ripped apart. You're not as tanky as you think you are because of the Glaceons there.
Yeah, but I actually like one of the moves that Talon actually did, right? The Clefable actually went in between the Glaceon and the Slowbro so that to absorb that slow beam for that Glaceon so that the Glaceon could do its shenanigans. So, you know, that's a good support play coming in from Talon from the previous fight as well. So if they could keep this up and just deny the slow beam onto the Glaceon, Talon, it looks really strong looking in this matchup.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about Talon looking strong, but we already saw that God of Warriors, they definitely have the tools and they have what it takes in terms of a composition to face down this Glaceon. They just need to find the opening. I can't do it just yet, though. Against this Reggie Lecky, they're chasing down the Kai, and the escape is there. MXI, nice disengage there with that heavy slam and got to catch him off guard. Brone, though, straight onto the A9, and they need to retreat. The side of God of Warriors, they bit off a bit more they could chew for now, and getting those resets coming in. All Unite moves available for both sides right now, as this is going to be a decisive fight. Can God of Warriors take it to a reset, or will Talon put a quick stamp in their hopes and dreams here to serve forward straight onto the Blastoise? They've taken out that poor big turtle. No Hydro Typhoon for this fight, as Bro is still biding his time, forcing the Fairy Frolic. The Barrage Blow, unfortunately, not going to land on anybody, and the submission forced to run away. The Fire Spin still chasing, and right now, Talon slowly encroaching forward, slowly finding an opening. They want to grab the crucial Pokemon, but oh no! Bro on the sideline. Can he get out of here? Snake hard on his heels, but the Icicles, they're doing the work, and Snake forced to back off, taken down by his Evolution brother. And how did that happen? It was supposed to go the other way. It wasn't supposed to happen like this. The Fire Spin keeping the last remaining members of God of Warriors in place, and Hydro Typhoon to seal the deal. God of Warriors wiped out of the picture, and Rayquaza more than likely Talons. The way this Glacier's cleaning it up, it's a done deal.
God of Warrior had a really good start to the fight. They took out that Blastoise first, and the rest is just a bunch of mess right there in the Legendary Spin. But the key piece that God of Warrior did not manage to take out was that Glaceon. Bro literally got out there, did a slither of health, and just Icicle Sphered every single one down, and everything is just history from then on. And right now, Talon is just looking really strong to close off this round. 20 more seconds on the clock, and there's more points coming into Talon's pocket as well. 5-1-1, 108. God of Warrior, I don't think this is the time for them to come for a comeback.
Yeah, they're still missing one member out of the picture for 30 seconds. And MXI being so annoying with that block. Kai not even done yet. The shield's there enough. And oh no, a final 50 dunk. 100 points to seal the deal, as Kai is gonna be laughing all the way to the bank. As Talon, they ain't gonna let you reset on them that easy. 1-1 in our grand finals between Talon and God of Warriors.
This is what we call a wake-up call, ladies and gentlemen. Talon, literally was, trying something funky in round number 1, but they woke up their idea, and they're here to slay. They're here to win this tournament, and they want to bring it down to the final game, the game number 3 for Talon to actually close this off. Brone, dealing Blank is the MVP, but I think Brone is the one who actually allowed Talon to actually have those smooth plays. God of Warrior not banning Glaceon, and they were punished for it.
Yeah, I mean, the Glaceon, they tempted fate there a little bit, right? They're like, you know what, why don't we just do this thing that we haven't done this entire tournament that surely won't end up bad? And for what it's worth, I respect it, because God of Warriors, sometimes these are the risky gambles you need to make. I mean, it's always a trade-off, right? These pick and ban phases, and they had a pretty good recipe to cook this Glaceon up. In fact, in the last fight, actually,